Hello, my name's Scott Perry. I'm a professional magician and this is a magic review.
It's a kind of magic.
Today we're talking about Quiver by Kelvin Chow and Glitch Studios. So the TLDR is, this is fantastic. In my opinion, in my humble opinion, this is a must purchase for pretty much most magicians. It's really well made, it does lots of things, and overall it's just a utility device that can be used for lots and lots of variations of magic tricks. So that's the TLDR. It's really good. If you like what you see, buy it. Let's get into a few more details. What is Quiver? Quiver is this. It's a small pouch, coin purse, whatever you want to call it, and it switches things. So I will post a little bit of footage up on screen now so that you can see the kinds of effects that you can achieve with Quiver. And that's essentially what it is. It's if you are familiar with a change bag, it's kind of similar to that in the way that it works, but it's a little bit more clever than a change bag. So that's essentially what Quiver is, and there's not much more to say on what it is, to be honest. It's a small pouch that switches one thing for another. What do you get, or what do you receive with Quiver? You receive this. That's pretty much it. It comes in this little box. You get a link to a download tutorial. It's hosted on the Illusionist website, but you can download it, which is always a nice touch. The instructions are about 30 minutes long, and they, or Kelvin Chow, I believe, is who takes you through the instructions. He takes you through pretty much everything you could need to know. There are a couple of little tips that I'll talk about at the end, which are nice things and tips that Kelvin covers, which we should all be grateful for, that he didn't leave them out of the instructions. But that's essentially what you get with Quiver. This little pouch in this little box. It's that simple, to be honest. How easy is it? It's really easy. If we're going to scale from out of 5, so 5 is very difficult, extremely difficult. 1 is very easy. It does score a 1, but it did take me a little bit of practice to get it down, and I don't know if that was because the pouch needed working in, or if that's just because I needed to practice the movements and my hands weren't used to doing these kinds of movements, because there is a very specific kind of movement that you need to make to activate the switching mechanism. So I would say overall it is very easy, but it might be a little bit knacky when you get it out of the box and for a few days or a couple of weeks until you get used to it. Reset time is instant. The thing that you are switching inside the pouch, whatever that may be, you may need to switch that back, and the thing that you tip out, you might need to put it back in and reverse the switch to reset yourself depending on what kind of trick that you're performing, but it is an instant reset. There's no kind of locking system in terms of a permanent lock. It does lock in a sense, which is good because a spectator can open it up and it won't activate the secret compartment, so that's nice. But it's not like a traditional locking system where you need to use a magnet or something to open it or anything like that. So it's pretty good on reset time. It's pretty much instant. Moving swiftly on to the angles. The angles are 360 degrees. Doesn't really matter where you're performing this. It does matter that there's light, because if you open the Quiver pouch, it's obviously quite dark in there. So if you're performing in a dark situation, people may not be able to see what's inside, and the change that occurs might not be very impressive. So if you are using this in a bar, a dimly lit bar, a restaurant, a nightclub, I know there are lots of magicians who perform in nightclubs, then I would suggest that when you're performing it, you ask a spectator or 2 spectators to hold their phone with a torch or a flashlight for the American viewers, to shine it inside so that everyone can see, because that will make the trick or make the effect much more visible and much more impressive for everyone. Other than that, like I say, the angles are 360 degrees. almost to the end of this review now. It's quite a straightforward one. The pocket space for this is, as you see, it's roughly the size of the palm of my hand. It's very thin, and that's all the space that it's going to take up. You could put this and a pack of cards in your pocket quite comfortably, and that's about as simple as it is for pocket space. I will touch a little bit more on pocket space in this last part of the final thoughts, which we'll move on to now. So a couple of final thoughts. I'll show you for sizing purpose, because I intended to use Quiver with a American dollar sized coin, and you can in fact do that. So I will put the American dollar in there. I don't know how well you will be able to see this, but there is nothing inside there. The Old English penny goes inside. I don't know if you can see that. And then if you want, you can just tip out the dollar. So that's pretty much it. It fits things a little bit larger than an American dollar. So you could probably fit something like a small sweet or candy inside there. They do say on the instructions that it's preferable to keep things that are flat. So something like a coin, something like paper, or a wrapper, or something like that. But they cover all of the different variations and different things that you can put in it in the instructions. They also do cover a handful of different routines and different ideas for effects, such as transpositions, such as changes, and using it as a multiple outs effect. So they do take you through a few different routines, and they do give you a few different ideas. But that's one of the final thoughts, that it does come with some routining and stuff, and it does, if you're looking for it, fit dollar-sized coins nicely. They do now have a Quiver Plus. I don't know how large it is, but it is larger than this. So perhaps in a Quiver Plus, you may be able to fit a standard like 4 or 5 inch jumbo coin in it. I'm not sure that you would be able to change that, but you might be able to put something else inside and then change that into a jumbo coin. Like I say, I don't have a Quiver Plus, so I don't know. But the regular Quiver actually, I think, would suit most people in an everyday situation. And the Quiver Plus would be more of a very specific use case, like I say, with something like jumbo coins, or something very specific. If you wanted to change a number of sponge balls or something like this, that probably wouldn't be possible with the regular Quiver. I think that's pretty much everything for my final thoughts. It does take a little bit of working in. Don't worry if you can't get it straight away. It is a little bit knacky. Stick with it, and I'm sure you will love it. I believe that's everything. I do sometimes miss things out on these reviews, so if you feel like there's anything I've missed out, leave it in a comment below, and I will reply as fast as I can and accurately as possible to try to answer any of your questions. I know that Quiver's been out a while, but it has recently been restocked in many shops around the world, so take this opportunity to pick one up. Like I say, I can't recommend it enough. I think it's an absolutely fantastic utility device that I know we hate this, or many people hate this saying in the magic community. It really is limited to your imagination. So that's it. That's the review of Quiver by Kelvin Chow and Glitch Studios. It costs roughly £40, or I don't know if it's a direct conversion, so between 40 and 50 American dollars. You can figure out in your own currency what that will be based on £40 or $50. And that's the price. I think it's a steal. I think you should definitely pick one of these up while you can. And that's it. Like I say, leave a comment below if you like. If these reviews are helping you, do feel free to leave a tip via PayPal. This is my alternative to something like the system of tipping someone a coffee or something like that. All of the money donated through PayPal, of which the link is in the description, all of that money goes towards buying more effects and more tricks to review for you. So that's it. I'll see you in the next one.